Okay, and here we go with the inaugural video of Warframe instructional videos. This video here is going to be from the very beginning, right when you choose your first character and taking you up to getting to your ship. I have another account that I play on as a mainline character. I created this character and created this account to take it from the beginning and show new players the beginning stages of how to select, how to create a character, and take it from soup to nuts, basically. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the beginning. I'll film the entire way, and basically we're just going to go through and choose the first character and get you to your ship, and then from there we'll create more videos that will show you how to get the other pieces of your ship, completely assembling it and allowing you to get into the game mainstream.
To protect the twisted crusade they have begun. To transform the scattered colonies into an empire. To see that the Tenno, hidden and asleep, will never awake.
Very good cut.
Alright, at this point it's asking you which one of the three frames that you want to start with. I really like the fact that they made the choice of putting Volt in this mix. Volt was never part of the original game. They changed the frames around periodically, and now you've got a choice with Excalibur, Mag, or Volt. I personally like Mag as a Warframe, but she is more of a support style frame, support and main DPS. She's definitely not she's a very survivable frame, but not the most survivable frame. She could take some serious damage, and most of her attacks have to happen at a somewhat close range. Volt has some distance on him, and he has the ability to do many different things that really just they knock the hell out of the mobs. First, he has Shock, which launches a shocking projectile at the first mob. Any mobs that are near enough to them, it will chain to them and do extra damage to those mobs. You can hit 20, 30 mobs at a time, depending on how many are standing there. It's a really nice damaging skill, and with the right mods, it can really do put some serious hurt on the mobs. Speed applies to everybody in the party. It gives everybody an increased run speed, I should say, for a short period of time. That's all going to be dependent on duration mods, really, as to how long you get that runtime increased. The electric shield is really, really nice because it puts up a barrier in front of Volt that allows him to fire through with not only his weapons but also his abilities. And same thing goes for party members. Party members can take cover behind those shields and be able to protect themselves from enemy fire. At the same time, that shield can be cast on a few different times, as long as he's got the energy to do so, and be able to actually create a panoramic barrier, if you will, that will block rounds from several different directions. Overload is just that. It is an overload that in a 365-degree radius, north, south, east, west, and your Z-axis, it will destroy anything and everything within its range, and it has quite a range on it. It will also explode lights and other fixtures within the area that you're in, and those can also do extra damage to the mobs. So let's go ahead and confirm him, and we'll move on to the process of getting to our ship. Now I'll try and get through this in one take. I may make some mistakes here and there. I apologize in advance. But I'm a little new to making videos, so we'll just work out the kinks as we go along. One underlying fact that I see with videos is people tend to move around too much or dart around too much, dart their view around the screen too much when they're trying to point things out, or they don't leave enough time for you to see what's happening with different cards and things like that. I will always try to give the extra time needed to be able for individuals to be able to see that stuff. Now here what I'm doing is I'm using his shock ability, and they're making sure that I have the energy recharge to be able to do that, and take on the mobs here.
On its way, but the Grineer will be hunting you. Arm yourself.
Now here I've got this hole to jump over. I'm going to slide and I'm going to jump. By running and then crouching when you run, you'll slide. And I'm going to take the bow myself. I'm kind of partial to that. Now, I could take the Scana, but it's a sword like any other sword. So it's not really all that great. One thing I will note with you here is while you're running, you seem decently fast, but if you notice, you speed up a little bit when you slide. And at the same time, when you slide and you jump, you will actually gain some speed and you'll move ahead even faster. If you notice in the upper right hand corner at your health and your shields, when you're running, there is a green bar that is slowly depleting. That is your stamina, and when that runs out to 0, you will be knocked down to regular speeds and you won't get those extra boosts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move on here. Make sure Amelia is working. It is. Which means I've set my keys properly. That could be a pain in the butt in the beginning, but as long as you go through your settings okay, you're good to go on that. Now I'm going to crouch underneath that and slide. Did a stealth attack on that mob.
There's a cache of weapons ahead. Grab what you can.
Alright, now, here they give us a choice of either kunai, which are basically throwing knives, or they give us a choice of the Lado. Now, the difference between these two is the Lado is a pistol. Pistols, you know, like any other bullet, almost instantaneous damage. You fire the gun, mob gets hit. Pretty simple to use. I prefer the kunai. They do a little bit more damage in the very beginning, and even over time, these can be upgraded to do some massive damage. The difference is it is a thrown projectile, or like a bow and arrow or a crossbow. It has a travel time. So mobs do have a little bit of a chance to dodge it, and it does also have an arc to its throw. So when you throw this, you know, at a distance, it's going to drop some. So you can see the arc right there. So you got to account for that when you go to use the weapon itself. As you can see, headshots still count with this. It's a quiet weapon. It's a fast reloading weapon. It takes almost no time to grab up another bunch in your hand. Okay, now here we've got, this is a container. Now you notice the distinct difference between the one on the left and the one on the right. For any of those out there that are colorblind, I'm going to describe them as left and right for right now, just because of the fact that they're done this way for your benefit. The one on the left is, you notice it's dashes down along the bottom and on the sides, rather than on the right you've got solid lines and a circle with a line running vertically on it. That means that chest can be unlocked. The one on the left cannot be unlocked, and that was differentiated for your benefit. As being colorblind, you can't see that those are actually red on the left and green on the right. So anything that's denoted as a green or with solid stripes on it here is openable by simply walking up to it and using your action key.
Take what you can.
Now in here we have some different chests. This is one type of chest. This is another type of chest. These can be opened in several ways. First, we'll melee this one. and that just breaks the chest, whatever's in it pops out of it, and is there for your immediate use. This one here is breakable in the same way. You can use melee on it. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a weapon real quick, and you'll notice that it opens. You can do that with a gun, you can do that with a kunai, you can do that with any weapon that you can hit that with, whether it is a ranged weapon or a melee weapon. So it really doesn't matter how you open a chest. You can even slide into them and use your melee to attack and do a wider berth and hit both at the same time. That orb right there is for energy. If you look in the lower right hand corner, you see how much energy you have. I have 100 currently. Later with extra cards like flow, I can increase that. So that's what those blue orbs do. They will replenish your energy as you use it.
You made it. There's the extraction ship. You're not ready to face war now. Use your melee weapon to block the beam and get inside.
My decrepit heart is pounding.
Now, I've never been any good at blocking the beams and stuff that they send out. You know, I don't know that that really works all that well anyways. But as I said, I've never really been any good at it, so...
It's your only chance.
Again, solid lines, so these are openable. You get some credits out of them. A lot of times you get health orbs come out of them. So if you're playing solo, you don't have a Trinity character with you, which is a healer type. Those are nice to find because, you know, any damage that you may have taken, you're going to be able to replace. Let me give you some tutorials here. This is something new that they've added. This is it'll heal the entire team as long as they're close enough when you pick it up. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Your character just walks on past it. Let's check out, see what's up here. Okay, I've released the lockdown.
Get out of there, Tenno. You will have to face war another time, when you're fully restored.
We're near, my son.
So basically at this point, I'm trying to avoid getting hit by those beams. And I need to figure out where it is that I've got to go at this point to avoid those beams. Now, there's a way of attacking mobs with your melee weapon at like a high rate of speed. You can slide attack like that, and you can do serious damage to a mob. It really hurts them to be attacked in that manner. It adds a lot of damage to your weapon. I'm kind of partial to slide attacks myself. Okay, this is how you run on walls. You just basically you hold your run button down and you'll run up walls. You can run along the side of the wall. There's a lot of ways you can do it. Alright, I got a few chests here that I can open up. I'm not short on any health, so the health orbs aren't going to help me any. Okay, now they're asking me to pick a primary weapon here. Now I can either take the bow, which I do like the bows. I'm kind of partial to them, or I could take the MK Bratton. Bratton, it's a machine gun like any other machine gun. I'm going to take the bow, just to be different. and give you an idea. Now, right-clicking
I'm
will
not sure
zoom
what
your
Vor
view,
has done to your Warframe, but we
and
cannot remove it
you know
now.
your
Just
mouse
keep
will give
going.
you a
Your
draw.
ship is up ahead.
And when you're now, you don't have to aim to draw, but your left mouse will give you a draw. And when you release the mouse button, you fire the arrow. Like anything else, headshots count. They make a big difference in your damage. So, you know, use them to advantage. You can just kind of tap to get fast arrows off. Okay, you don't have to stand in a draw, but standing in a draw and getting a headshot, it's guaranteed that you're going to do some pretty good damage to the mob. Probably a kill, as long as your weapon is commensurate with your level and the mobs that you're fighting. You can move with a draw. You, however, cannot run with a draw. Your character will slow down to a walk, so I'll do a draw. If you notice your character slows down, I'm holding my run button, but it's not. Now, when I start to move, I run with the button, and I can let it go. So basically, draw, and then run while I'm not aiming. But when I let go of that button, it's going to fire. So there is a way of getting a full draw on your weapon and then being able to run with it, so that you're in that ready state.
There it is, your ship. Hurry. Vor's reinforcements must be on their way.
Now, Tenno do not swim. So water, that water is not swimmable. You can't go in that water. If I jump off here, I'm going to end up restarting back on the pipe. So that's kind of like a penalty. You fall off, they put you back where you started from. So there's nothing in the game that requires you to swim ever.
Disengage the suppression system so we can restart the ship. You'll have to bypass the security on that panel.
Okay, this is security. Basically, you're going to use your space bar, and you want to hit the space bar when you come around to one of those. The more of them you activate, the faster it moves. And if you screw up, well, it puts you back. Once you've got the lock disengaged, everything starts to pick up.
Stop touching me, you... What? Just deceiving me? Operator, is that you? The operator is in danger? I will need a few moments to cycle the engines.
Enemy reinforcements are here. Ship Cephalon. We require immediate extraction.
Tenno, are you afraid? You cannot hide from these old eyes. I've marked you. You will return to
The bad part about using arrows is they do have a travel time. So mobs have an easy way to dodge them if they can. Yeah, with a bow you gotta kind of lead out your targets a little bit. Not always the easiest thing in the world to use.
Tenno, the ship is ready. It's time to leave.
So I've now gotten to Ortis, my ship. First time I did that, it was a lot tougher. They've obviously
Operator,
dumbed it down
you
a little
have
bit.
returned. I am Ordis, ship Cephalon, a shadow of my former
And
self. I cannot serve the operator in such a
I'll go ahead and let Ortis talk here.
I will understand.
All right, so basically,
Are ravenous for this old technology.
we are
It is
on our
superior
ship,
to
and to
theirs.
give you an overview
Perhaps there
here,
are systems left in the orbiter compartment.
you're going to have some different things here. You're going to, first and foremost, this is going to be your
Components have been removed.
this is going to be your world map. This is for the solar system. This is what's going to allow you to access all the different areas within the game. So there's that. This is going to be your for your reputation system. Over here, this will be your informational map. It'll keep you up to date on all kinds of different things, different events that are going on. It'll give you information on updates that have been done to the game, so on and so forth. This is the store. This is where you'll access the in-game and the online store for platinum, things of that nature. This is going to be your quest area, and you notice all of these say offline segment required. There is a segment that you require to get, and you have to activate that for all of these devices to work. And there's an individual mission for each one of those to be able to work. This is your this is where you will work on your Warframe and make your updates and add cards. This is your arsenal. And in here you can equip different Warframes, you can equip different weapons if you have them. You can also upgrade those different things when you get the ability to. You can also change your appearance in here. You can select the primary colors, the secondary colors that you want to use. I'll go into that in another video. You can also select the different loadouts that you want to use for that particular character. Again, I'll go into that in another video.
Ordis hopes the operator will punish the Guinea for discovering it.
To your left over here is your crafting station once you get your segment for it. And to the right over here is going to be your modification station. Modification station modifies the individual cards that you will pick up that you will eventually be able to place on your character and be able to upgrade the Warframe. Now this game only has one character per account, and your character wears different Warframes. Each frame has a different set of abilities, just as weapons have different damages and damage types. So in order to be able to play this game effectively, you'll probably have a few different frames. I know a couple of people only run one frame, but they specialize in that and they're very good at what they do. But for the most part, progression in this game, as far as your character, your main Tenno character is concerned, not the Warframes themselves, but the Tenno character, for that character to leveling weapons, leveling Warframes is the only way to really get experience for that character. And in doing so, that's the only way to level that character and get its masteries up. So keep in mind, you know, even if you've fallen in love with one frame and one set of weapons, you're going to want to work the others, even if you don't plan on keeping them. You're going to want to work them to be able to get the experience in order to level your character. Okay, I'm going to end this video right here, and in the next video I will go into the first mission that gets you the first segment of your ship. Thanks for watching.